Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it is there. It's Daniel from Resurrection Hot Rods, and we are going to be on the 85 Bullnose. Kind of a rundown of what we got going on is I had since the last videos sandblasted the rust off of the top of the fenders. I've treated my window jambs. I've gotten those all ready to rock. I got to strip the adhesive off the front windows yet. I'm going to take the cowl off. I'm going to take off the pinstriping, the marker lights, the grill, the headlights, the marker lights on the front. I have new everything. I just, instead of polishing things up, the only thing you can't buy these repop. But I'm going to take the anodizing off of that. We're going to polish that on a later date. And then I'll repaint this black. Along here, we'll tape it off and repaint it. Maybe I'll walk you guys through that. Because the new ones are even black through here. And I don't know. That's just kind of the way it was. And I like to put things back how it was. You can't find a lot of factory style parts. So you gotta get a lot of aftermarket. And it is what it is. My bumper was flawless other than somebody drilled for the fog lights. So I'm gonna just get some more bumper bolts and fill those in for now. Or I might just, it's kind of turning into like an 80s, 90s style build like you could have got back then. I kind of like the look, the era. So gonna maybe keep it in that era. So today we're gonna take the grill off, get it out of the way. The core support I was going to leave alone, but with everything else coming back so nicely, I'm just going to go ahead and strip all of this stuff off. You can get these repop, so I'll get those at a later date. I'm going to sand this all down, and then when we paint the front clip, we'll throw a little base clear on that. I'm just going to go ahead and rattle can this. It's like a grayish black. I think I might just go with like a satin black. It'll match the grill inserts anyways. I couldn't find the chrome with the silver like this, so my grill is now black in here. Well, like a dark gray, I guess you should say, about like this. Which will match those, because that's what color those are. I'm going to pull that front valance. We're going to sandblast that. We're going to sandblast the hood. I'm going to get these little spots here and there on the roof. There's a couple along there. I did get the bed off. That was a chore. So Eastwood hooked it up. We're gonna do a pressure wash sandblast on the frame and Eastwood rattle can rust repair for the frame and chassis. I'm gonna go ahead and DA the back of the cab. Oh, I forgot to pull that. I'm gonna hack the exhaust off. Well, it's already splitting anyways, but these are just some old school cherry bombs. Obviously one of them's gone. I'm going to cut them off where the metal gets back to nice and clean and not pitted. And then we'll get new exhaust at a later date. I'm going to clean up. I did pressure wash, or not pressure wash. I super cleaned and sprayed off. A lot of the stuff came out actually kind of okay-ish. You can actually start seeing some color on some of the wiring and things, surprisingly. So we're going to take care of that. There's the bumper. I got to heat this up and fix this yet. Haven't got there. I'll walk you through buffing chrome. Just down here on the bottom there's a little bit of pits and stuff, but that usually comes right out. That's just dirt. But for the most part, this bumper will come out super nice. We'll do a little SOS pad and a little metal polish on that. And then let me flip some lights on. As you've seen in a different video, doors are done. I got the patch panels for the bed to turn them into an 85 bed from, I believe, 87 and up. I'm pretty sure I have an 87 bed. Those are patch panels for it. They come a little shy. I'll show you how to put patch panels in. And then, since the last video, we have a full Rough Country lift kit, 4-inch. I have a brand new grill. What else did we get? I'm going to go with kind of a retro look, so we have a nice blue carburetor cover. Jeff's Bronco hooked it up, and we have a full rubber kit for all of the door. Windows. There's crew cab stuff in there too. You can't buy it separate. I could have saved myself a lot of money being a body shop and getting this stuff from Keystone, because this is from Dennis Carpenter, but it's the same exact one as the one from Keystone. So I ended up paying like, I don't know, almost $200 more on this stuff than I would have through the company. Because they don't advertise this, just so you guys have a heads up. You can get that through LKQ at any body shop. Dennis Carpenter doesn't advertise that that's what you're getting. They just sell you these pieces. And everywhere I've read, Dennis Carpenter is the place to get Ford parts. And they show up, and all this stuff, the grill things and the marker lights and all that stuff, I could get from our normal supplier for auto body aftermarket parts. New alternator, new taillights. This is the original taillight, the roundy style. More of the OBS style. I will be fixing, new distributor cap, so we can be looking fly. These are the 80s style taillights. I'm going to be cutting apart this bed. We're going to put those patch panels in, converting it over to the style side, and then above the taillights, it's more square instead of roundy. So I have to create that, and then I have to find a tailgate from an 80s. This, I guess, will be for sale. It's mint. I mean, the plastic broke, but that's a shame. I don't know if I ever showed this in the video. This thing got put in the barn because it was a fifth wheel truck, and I would have totally left this truck alone if the whole thing had been in the barn with the tailgate. So that's what the truck would have looked like if it had been inside some. So that's a shame. I got all my marker lights. I have intake bolts for the intake, the new to me intake. Brand new thermostat. I got these LED headlights. I can't remember the company name. It was like High something or other. Anyways, these look like they're glass too. These look like the factory halogen bulbs, but they're actually LED. That's the wrong box for that. So that's kind of neat. Thermostat housing, new badges. I got the XLT coming. Side marker lights. Intake gaskets for when I do the intake. Spark plugs and wires. Spark plugs. All new fan belts. What else do I got? I got stuff everywhere. I got my door panels should almost be here finally, so I have full interior. Well, I had a full interior. The door panels were a little shoddy. We're gonna do. So that's the carb kit, spark plugs. I don't know why I have multiple thermostats. We're doing too many Ford trucks at once. We're going to do the rear end service, rear seals. You got to pull the drum off, the hub off with the drum. You got to pull the axle out. You got to pull it off one unit anyways. So I'm going to get the drums turned, do bearings, inner and outers, and seals on the rear end, as well as a pinion seal and rear gasket. Because we're going to clean this axle up too when we do the lift. I have to get these fifth wheel brackets off. That was real fun. You guys missed out on some real good fun. Same in the front. It's getting new calipers. The rotors are getting turned. Full service. We're going to do tie rod ends, I believe. I got a dual steering stabilizer to keep that kind of 80s, 90s look. We got new bushings. We got new drop links for the sway bars. New upper and lower ball joints are coming. I might as well do the U-joint while I'm in there. What else are we doing? Brake shoes and pads. And then I don't know if that's coming out of the engine quite yet, or if that's the rear end leaking. But we're going to address that. We'll put a new seal on that as well while we do the lift. And then, I've already since then pulled the transmission. I don't know if I showed that or not. It's at the training shop. It's getting gone through and beefed up a little bit, so that should be back in about a week. So in that case, I might as well pull the drive line the rest of the way out and do both U-joints. So I'll walk you through that, paint those up. Same in the rear. I'm going to be doing that seal. It don't appear to be leaking, but I'm already when in Rome, right? The transfer case, which is over there where it blew everything apart and cleaned it up, is getting, I'm going to put seals in the back of the transfer case, all new U-joints, and then I'm going to start searching for a rear bumper because I'm taking off the tow bumper. It's $1,300 to chrome the rear bumper. I don't really want to spend that much on a non-factory bumper, so I'm going to find a good bumper and side trim. I got to find side trim yet. And then what else? I also have to do, oh, ta-da, 3-core aluminum radiator. Forgot about that. And then I have more marker lights. I have the front marker lights somewhere in these boxes in this shambles. I got to get shelves. I got to go to Home Depot. The storage units that we have down there all have shelves. I'd never put one in here. The El Camino's gone now, so now I have room. Well, I had room until I did this. But I want to put all this in there. But we're going to get ready to sand this down and paint it, so it's not time yet. And if I'm going to be sandblasting the roof, obviously I'm going to tape off as much as I can, but that stuff gets everywhere. I don't want all my nice pretty stuff in there. And then I'm going to go through and clean up the steering column and get out the jam sanded and get it ready for paint. We'll probably paint it before I do the lift kit. What else do I got to do? And then once I get it painted, I'm going to get windows put in, and I'm going to get this whole front clip dried in. It'll be all ready to rock. I'll have windows in, all brand new seals. It'll be fresh paint. I'll polish all the chrome. I got to get the side molding still so I can do the paint separation because I'm still going with the two-tone gray, the same colors. We're going to powder coat the hinges. And yeah, I got valve covers. That's right. I got valve covers. We got stuff everywhere, guys. I got valve covers coming. The intake. What else do I have? I got so much stuff. I used all the El Camino money and just ordered everything that I was gonna need. The only thing I don't have here is the mufflers, a rear bumper, side molding trim, wheels and tires. I gotta find some wheels and tires. I'm gonna go with the bullet holes, I believe, old school. I'm gonna put a 37 on there. I've seen people put 37s on a 4-inch lift or claim it was a 4-inch lift. We will see. I don't know if I believe that or not yet. It is an F250, so it sits higher than a 150, so we will see. But I have 8 on 6.5, 37 spare laying in the back. I'll throw that on and do the turn test and all that stuff. Transmission will get back. We'll be throwing that in. Boy, I don't know. I'm hoping to get it painted before I get too far along here. But anyways, today I'm going to be blowing this apart. I'm going to go ahead and blow some of that stuff off of there in hopes of not having too long of a video. And then on a separate video, we have made a little bit of discoveries and found some problems and some snags on the 78. We rebuilt the whole motor and souped it up a little bit. Campbell souped it up. This thing's gigantic too. We're getting ready to stab the motor, and I just got to looking at the bell housing on the transmission, and I'm like, something don't look right. It looks too close. And then the transmission shoved up into the floorboard, and then the owner said, "Hey, by the way, first gear hits the dash." And I was like, there's no way it came hitting the dash from the factory. Something's not right. Come to find out, this is an automatic truck. They swapped it over to manual. They didn't do a very good job. And automatic cross members are more forward than manual transmissions, so it needs to go back 2 inches. Because if you were to hook them, you couldn't if you wanted to get the motor and the motor mounts into the transmission unless you slid the whole training and everything in at once. If you were to get the motor bolted to the transmission, the oil pan would be overlapping the gas or the cross member at about right there. So that's a no bueno. And this is obviously not very cool. I don't know who does crap like that. Guys, don't do this stuff. And don't ever use angle iron for things like this because it just looks like Farmer John did it. I mean, we're pretty redneck and out in the country out here, but this is, you still got to do things right. So I got a chunk of tubing for that, and I don't think that, no, I'm pretty sure they aren't. There's some sort of cross member that goes here, but I just got some square tubing, and it looks to me like the frame might be rolled in just slightly. I know that they do taper in a little bit, so anybody's watching, it's like, oh, they have a little, I know that, but I feel like it's like this and that, and it just, if you just, I don't know if you can, camera can even pick it up. This has even got a bow in it. It's like they had it in there kind of straight, and then it just, since it's chintzy angle iron, since you don't do that. If you ever do this, don't put it this way. You at least put it with the point up or the point down. There's no strength that way. You can easily bend it. Or they bent it when they welded this hitch to it. That's another thing, guys. You can't just run a solid hot bead on something and expect it to stay in one spot. So anyways, we'll do an update on that. The whole engine is done and dressed and on the cherry picker. And then we did some measuring, and we're in stop central. We did pull the seat out because I do love Fords, but that's gayer than AIDS. Don't do that kind of stuff, guys. Come on. And it's got that's some nice pleating there. That's a nice seat to be screwing up. And then the guy Dynomat centraled everything over floorboards that were welded in wrong. So I'm gonna attempt to cut loose what he did from the bottom. I don't even know if we, like, I'll just crawl down here instead of guessing and cut through and weld it right, and then peel up what melted. Don't do this. Do not do this. Look, there's 3 layers there. This is actually the good side. Hire a professional if you don't know what you're doing. And even the YouTube videos and the AMD videos, those guys do wonky stuff so much. Look at that. So I'm gonna attempt to put the cab on its back and fix that without, I don't know if you guys ever taken Dynomat out. Well, I know this isn't the brand Dynomat, same concept though. I don't know if you guys ever tried to peel this stuff out. It's not very fun. So I'm gonna attempt to fix it from the bottom, but see what I mean? That should not be crammed all the way forward. And this was pushing up on the cover. And then you can't even go, you can see where it was hitting and bending. You can't even go into too high in this thing. So we'll be addressing that. Anyhow, let's get this thing blown apart. I'm gonna get some tools. I'm gonna pause. It'll be split seconds for you guys and quite a while for me, but I'm gonna pull the grill off. I'm just gonna kind of walk you through what to do real quick before I pause it. So you have screws. I went and got me a tote and I marked it grill and core support because I'm gonna take most of the stuff off. Screw, 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 screw. Down in here next to the deer. These are factory deer squealers. They're not. Down in here. And I believe that one, and then there should be one right there. There it is. Down in the corner. And you'll get this grill out. And the headlight bezels. Piers. I can't remember if this is underneath this or this is underneath that. We'll figure that out though, and I'll let you know. Pausing. Okay. So, take the grill out and then unbolt the surrounds. The middle top comes off before those. Wait, did I have that backwards? These come off. Anyways, I just ended up unbolting it all and pulling it off systematically as it went. I did see these on the website and I forget what they called them. I kind of wishing I ordered some now, but I'm just going to clean these up, and then I have some SEM black and I'll black those out just because you see in through the side of the headlight bezel, and I'm assuming that's why it's there, as well as for water and wind. I'm gonna pull these. See, I'm gonna pull the valance. I'm gonna pull these supports. Pull that upper. I'm gonna get new transmission cooler. I don't know if I'm gonna get a new power steering cooler or not. I have a new AC condenser I forgot to order, but I need to get that coming. I'm gonna take the headlight bezels out, sandblast and paint, rattle can those, and then I'm gonna prep that core support for getting painted the same color. Well, it's gone now. It'd be the same color that it was here because I did sandblast all that, and this one had surface rust through the lighter gray. So I will actually, you know what, I don't know if I'm gonna go factory on that. I might just sand that all down and semi-gloss black it, or make it look better. We make this pop more. This grill isn't terrible. Nothing's really broke on it. The only thing that I was really having an issue with was I noticed that was broke off the ear for the mounting. That's no problem to repaint in there, not a big deal. The chrome was kind of peeling, and then from the rust running down the hood and down the edge of the fender and on puddling up on this and running on that, it had stained that. I did try to buff that like the first day I got it back to the shop, maybe second, just to kind of see. And then somebody tried that's why that one was broke, I'm imagining, is I think this headlight burnt out, and they tried pulling all this off through the headlight bezel unsuccessfully, and so it's missing those screws. This is bent up a little bit. I can fix that and polish it. I'm assuming that's why it was broke. And then I'm just gonna order, if I don't have them here already, all these new J clips. We'll go through and lubricate up the hood latch. I might paint it. Nah, maybe not. I don't know. These things get so beat up here. It's a little surface rusty. We'll see. I might sandblast and paint it and then lube it up. I guess I'll order. Man, this is escalating. I might as well order new lines while I'm at it. Here's the wiring for the bumper lights that aren't factory, obviously. So I'm going to pull those back through because it is kind of a wiring nightmare right there, where they added another hitch plug and stuff like this, and they wired some weird horns themselves, and it's a little bit of an eyesore. And this is some of the trailer stuff. I still haven't gotten around to that. And the resistor, I'm gonna gut all this. This is all going. It's got to go bye-bye. There is a factory. This was a factory tow rig. It was set up for towing. So this is factory. It came with it. So I'll set it back up the way that it should have been. What should have been this wire here should have been your main power wire, and I don't know what they got going on. This color of green is usually house wiring. We'll see what that is. Maybe that's out of that controller box in there. But usually that color green is the house wiring color, not an automotive color. So we'll see. I'll clean all this wiring up. I got that, like I said, I got that new radiator. I'm gonna retain the shroud. I do have a new fan. I think I'm just gonna go with the direct drive fan, blue one, just because it'll match the era. And then I've never done this before. The owner has. This is R12. Where's the plug at? This thing was sitting on the manifold at some point in its life, and I did happen to call O'Reilly's, and they had a plug for this. So I get to wire this up with a fresh factory plug-in. That's kind of cool. I might send that off to make sure that's good, or get a new one. I don't know yet. I might get a new one. It's kind of ugly. But you can replace all your O-rings in the whole system and turn it from R12 to 123 or 134. I don't remember what the numbers are, which is still not the newest thing out there. But it does have the stuff that's available, so you can charge your system. And I see I still got sand down and then once I get all this crap out of my way, I'll reach through and I'm going to take this bracket off, and I'm going to show you guys in a different video. I'm going to lop this off. This is where the smog pump sat, and I'm eliminating some of the belts, and I'm going to figure out which pulleys I'm using and not using, and I don't know if these are separate pulleys or not. They might be. I don't remember. Nope, that one's not the alternator. Oh, that one goes to, so I might have to leave it. We'll see. But I'm retaining the dual belt setup. I don't know why they did this. These are the exact same belts. They're going on the same pulleys to the power steering, and maybe it just needs that much. I don't know. Anyways, sidetrack. Squirrel. I'm gonna take this bracket off and trim it all down and retain the mounting points like this one, and obviously that one, because that's where the alternator goes through. And I believe there's one back here somewhere that I can't see. And cut that off and then sandblast it. I'm gonna sandblast all this, and I don't know if I'm gonna send it off to powder coat. I'll probably just paint it. I don't know if I have enough time. I'm gonna clean this water pump up and these pulleys, sandblast those, because this is looking pretty bad. But by the time I get my intake and new spark plug wires, I still need to get in there. Once I get all this crap on my way, I got new radiator hoses. I'm gonna cut all that off and cap those off. I'm not gonna do headers. You can see where the smog things were on the, oh boy, come on, focus. You can see where they go to the manifolds. I'm just gonna cut them off because I tried taking them off with a wrench, and I've been PV blasting them for a month and they're not coming loose. So I'm gonna cut them off so I can get a socket on there and take a Nugga Chugga, and we're gonna get them off there and cap those all off. Just gonna kind of show like a backyard, you can do this all yourself type build. So I'm not gonna be doing headers at this point. Maybe some point down the road, but for now, I'm just gonna try to keep it between buying the vehicle and all the parts that I've bought in, and the lift and the wheels and tires and paint, under $7 grand. Now, granted, I did get asked the other day, these are your upper and lower. So I'm gonna polish those up and go with my new pretty grills from Hong Kong Chongwon. I did get asked the other day, like, well, that's not very much money in that truck once you're all said and done. I figured about $7 grand, $7,500, beautiful, nice, new. And I said, yeah, it's really not actually. I mean, that gives me wiggle room for, I mean, these things, I'm not an eBay person, I'm not a marketplace person to where it's like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be that, because so-and-so is asking that. I know that people are accepting lesser money than what they're asking, but generally speaking, I have not seen in my area one of these done up completely as done up as I'm doing it, as nice, and they're going for around 10 to 15,000. And I'm like, well, that's not too bad. Well, then you got to factor in how many hours you have. If I was to come, or if you guys were to come in with this truck and be like, hey, do everything that I'm doing to it right now, and probably if you're paying to get it done, realistically, there's a couple corners that's gonna last and done right, but I wouldn't have done that for a customer. I'm just doing it because I'm keeping the truck, and I don't really care. It's my truck. I bet you'd be $30,000, and I'm sorry to say it, but that's not even remotely. I love those trucks. I love Ford trucks. That's not worth $30,000. Now, if that was sentimental, that was your high school truck, and you just had to have it, and you're gonna keep it, and you're building it, sure. So when people are like, "Oh, you only got $7,500, and that's pretty good," because what I accidentally do is they're like, well, why is this one 80 grand? It's like, well, that one needs cut to pieces and all redone. I'm gonna have to cut the quarter. That's a brand new factory, or not factory. That's a brand new aftermarket metal body that was complete with the top and everything, and he's gonna be 80 grand. I gotta cut the whole thing apart. In fact, we're putting half of the factory parts that we tracked down, OEM parts. Not OEM parts, NOS parts, and stock parts off of an actual 72 Blazer, and because that thing's just junk. But when they see that and they're like, oh, that's only, why is mine so much? You got to realize I don't charge myself an hourly rate. So I've been doing this all on spare time, middle of the day, here and there, before work, after work. Today's Saturday. I'm down here working on it a little bit so I can get you guys some content and an update on what's going on with that. And then I'm gonna sand this all down. I'm gonna do probably a part 2. This video is getting kind of long, but we have some progress on the 67, the orange truck. I'll do a separate video for it. The frame, I had some rot in it, and I cut some chunks of frame out. And we have another junk 4-wheel drive frame, but that was good in the spots that this one was bad. And I cut them out and welded them in, fish plated them. And that frame for that thing is down at the powder coaters, the rear end, the core support, because we're leaving it patinaed. But everything, like when you lift the hood, it's like, whoa. So pretty much the inside of the fender's out. The inside of the cab will be done. That's the bed for it. It's DP'd, sitting there ready to rock. All the brake stuff, we're gonna sandblast those down, powder coat them, and then go have them turned, so that way it's got nice, pretty, and durable finish. And we got the lift kit in one of the storage units here for it, wheels and tires. So we'll get that back, we'll put that all together, get all the steering hooked up. The motor's already built, it's at the owner's house. The transmission we went and got from a junkyard. Well, it's a square body junkyard down south of here. We went and got a transfer case and tranny for it. We're gonna do it up, put all everything in there, rolling chassis, and then we're gonna put that cab on there, and we're gonna match that box to this paint job. So that'll be a whole separate video. And then, like I said, we got the motor all done for that one, but we got to figure out what we're gonna do with it, guys. It's we had a conversation last night that if nobody had touched that truck, even if the condition of that truck was worse than it is now, like as far as like rust and carpet and whatever, we would have been still money ahead and time ahead on that truck. Guys, I'm telling you, if you do things the wrong way, I mean, that was a complete truck. It's just everything on that truck was done wrong and doesn't work right, doesn't fit. The driveline's maxed out sitting there at ride height because he has the transmission too far forward and mismeasured his driveline that he had made. So the yoke slipped all the way back against the driveline as it's just sitting there ride height. So obviously you can't hit a bump. Things like that. It's never ending. It did get professionally wired, so I think the wiring is the only thing that's done correctly on that. And they put the lug nuts on the right way, so I mean they're not cross-threaded. Other than that, that whole truck's getting torn back down and done over. And don't use gloss black on your frame unless it's a perfectly shiny frame, which we have done that. We've ground down and made the frame look as nice as we can, send it off to powder coat, get it back, DA down and block down the powder coating because that's a good filler and a good base coat, and got it smoother because the powder coating's so thick, and then painted them, and then polished them up for like a show rig that's like, you know, going to SEMA or something, not a junkyard, backyard, 78. When you have a real scaly, ugly rear end, or a really scaly, ugly transfer case, or a really scaly, ugly frame, do not gloss black it. It looks so bad. At least semi-gloss or flat, so it looks like it blends in a little bit more. His gloss brings all those imperfections out, for one. Two, it just looks corny. It looks cheesy. It just looks, I don't even know how to explain it. You have to see them side by side. But like this one's getting semi-gloss because I'm not going to sit there and make this frame perfect. So I'm just going to sandblast it and then shoot a little semi-gloss on there. Anyhow, guys, God's good. I will give you an update on this on another video. This video is getting kind of long, and I don't think anybody wants to hear me flap my gums, and I don't got much time today, so I need to get something done. But mainly I'm going to get the side marker lights out, get the pinstriping off, get the fenders DA'd down, and blow apart the rest of the core support, and start sandblasting some of that stuff, and then DAing that so I can paint it. And then we'll get the roof sandblasted, and then the hood and the cowl and that front valance, and then off to the paint booth it goes. And then all my new parts, it'll be like this, and then it'll be on there and done. Nice new paint, doors on, hanging. And then my bed's way out there. I got to do the patch panels on that. That'll be a different video. And turning that 87 bed into an 85 bed, an 80 to 86 bed, I should say, style side. And then finding a tailgate for that matches. Anyhow, God's good. Race focus. Stay focused. Have a good day. Peace.